Okay, welcome back. Here's the second portion of today's Executive Election 2016 program. It's the question and answer period with our presidential nominees. It's a slightly different format than previous years. We previously had more of a debate format. This year we're looking at question and answer. There are two microphones on either side of the stage, Fanshawe TV on them. If you're looking to ask any of the candidates a question, please come forward and we'll give you the floor. I'd like to introduce the candidates again. From my immediate right, we have Jordan Borman, Abby Youssef, Miranda Kiddies, Heather Bailey, and Carly Forsyth, your presidential candidates. Okay, so I have a list of questions here. Some of them submitted through an FSU contest. One of those questions was, what experience has made you the best advocate for voice of students at Fanshawe? Carly? Sir.
All right. Hold on. All right, now it's on. All right, perfect. Okay, so what things have been given to me in order to have such a great impact? I went through a lot of them in my speech. I launched a really awesome event or a service that's actually offered on campus. It's called Enriched Academy, and it's out there to help students financially with their own personal finances and that kind of thing. So we launched an event, we brought an ex-Dragon Bruce Clarkson in to give a really good speech. And then the CEO and the co-founder of the company gave an amazing talk. It was an incredible day, especially for entrepreneur students. I've also had a lot of hand in negotiating various things, negotiating fees, negotiating different policies around the campus. The most interesting policy that I helped negotiate is the student academic appeals policy. And that's probably the one that really focuses most on students and on advocating for students. So amazing, amazing experiences. And all the committees I've been on, currently one of the more interesting ones is working with College Student Alliance on a committee for Indigenous Affairs and Education. So it's been a lot of fun.
Okay, up next.
Oh, sure. I'm a big one. All right. So what experiences makes me a good candidate for FSU president? The things that come to mind is I started a theater company not only here in London, but I started one in India as well when I lived there. And so, I mean, diversity and empowerment are really, really important to me. But I think both of those start with a conversation, and I'm very, very comfortable with having those discussions. I tend not to see what's first in front of me. First impressions aren't necessarily what I'm looking at. I really care about what people talk and how people talk, what they say, how they express themselves, but also giving people an outlet and an opportunity to bring those up. So how can we empower people to put them in the spotlight? I don't think that position is about being in the spotlight. I think it's a position where that person has that opportunity to put other people into the spotlight and bring them together and bring their issues forward.
Alright, so my experiences that I have, that I've brought to Fanshawe are that I've been already the VP External and Academic Affairs here at Fanshawe. I've also been part of many committees. The governance committee right now here at Fanshawe Student Union. I've been part of the financial budget from last year, and I've been part of even high school. I was part of the student council there. And I believe that my experience is very broad, and I want to bring that experience back here to Fanshawe.
Abby.
My experience has been that I've been a class rep my previous year and now I'm also an SAC member of the School of Transportation Technology and Aviation Technology. And what I've learned is to constantly talk to students, hear their input and what they want to see change. And that's one of the reasons why I wanted to become president, to hear students input what they'd like to see change.
Jordan.
What experiences make me the best advocate to be the president of FSU? It's a pretty big question for me. I've had quite a bit of experience in terms of student government experience. Before I came to Fanshawe, I spent 5 years in Sault Ste. Marie. During my time up there, I was the vice president on their student council for 3 years, and I was also the president of their student council for 2 years. So with that experience and then coming to Fanshawe, serving as a class representative in my first year here, moving on and becoming the Vice President of Athletics and Residence Life this current year, and then into presidency, hopefully moving forward. I believe that the progression is just a steady pace for me, and with my past experiences, it makes me extremely qualified in order to best represent the students and advocate on their behalf. Also during that time, I served as the CSA regional representative for 2 terms as well during my time on my previous student council. So I have multiple different levels of experience through different organizations as well. So in my eyes, that makes me the best candidate to be the next FSU president.
Okay, thank you. I didn't tell the candidates, but we'll do 1-minute responses. So not that anybody went over, but I didn't neglect to tell you that. Okay, next up we have the Ontario budget was recently released, and in that budget, the government's going to offer tuition grants to low-income families. How does that affect the operations of the student union? Adam?
So something that comes to my mind right away with this is that I think that's going to make education a lot more accessible. Coming from a family that I'm sure most of us actually have come from family situations where getting here and making this happen is not easy. But if we can make education in Fanshawe College more accessible to everyone, that means more people are going to be here. So we're going to need to really work on our social media, the different platforms and connections. So how are we getting the word out? How are we making those connections, and how are we getting information out?
Carla?
I'm actually really super excited about this Ontario new budget that's out now. It's absolutely fantastic. It's definitely everything that we've been advocating for all year. And I'm just super excited about it. I'm super excited about the opportunities it gives to a lot of really good students and a lot of very mature students who just excel academically. So I'm extremely excited about that. I'm also really excited that these people will probably become more engaged because they're probably less stressed out. So because they don't have to worry about being super financially sound, they get this opportunity, and it'll just be incredible, I think.
Okay, Maria?
Alright, so I believe that the Ontario budget that has come around has brought up more opportunities for everybody to get involved into college, especially for the single parents that have their children. This is a very good opportunity for them to get involved in college, and even more opportunities for everyone to get right into college and right into learning about their field of study. And I believe that it'll broaden our competitive nature because welding up more opportunities for everybody to join into college. It'll often bring more competitive ways to get into college so that everybody will be able to have the best college experience.
I believe that the new Ontario budget is a really great thing for our students. I've met a lot of students who have been working full-time and also been doing school full-time, and so it will help them since most of them work from families that weren't making $50,000 a year. I believe that this won't affect the Fanshawe Student Union the way their operations are met, and this should help students get more access to college, university, and further education as well.
Jordan?
Okay, so as most of the fellow candidates that kind of echo that sentiment, the new budget is a great thing. It will provide a lot of opportunities to those low-income families to have those individuals attend college. Again, I don't see that impacts the FSU budget in a large way. What that does provide us is the opportunity to provide our services to more individuals. It gives us a bigger crowd to draw from in terms of events and things of that nature. So what we will have to be cognizant of moving forward is how to reach out to these individuals and ensure that we can keep them engaged with us throughout their experience here. Adding more students into the mix is always a great thing for the college and for the student union. It gives us more students to advocate on behalf of and for. The key issue is ensuring that we do the right thing behind those students and advocating for continued opportunities of access for the students.
Okay, great. So as an example of a potential issue on campus, let's say some people feel there's not enough parking on campus and that the parking lottery doesn't work for everyone. How would you advocate for that change or on a separate issue? We started with Abdi this time.
I've actually had to deal with parking office a lot of times. My campus is at the Y building, and some of the issues that we've been having is because our program is longer than most people's programs. My program's an 18-week, where everyone else's majority of the time is 15-week. So I had to deal with the parking office to extend some of the lockers and also maybe possibly in the future extend the parking. So I will just do it the exact same way as I've been doing previously, start a dialogue and further talks with the parking office to see what we can do to make better areas for students to park, or maybe reduce the prices for parking passes, or see what kind of compromise we can make with the parking office.
So parking is a really touchy issue. There's only so much land, there's only so much parking space. It's not the most realistic thing to kind of have to reduce. However, we are moving some programs downtown. So again, that'll kind of free up some of the parking. Another thing we're really big on is LTC bus pass. We are huge on that. We love it because it's sustainable, it's environmental. We love that kind of thing. And it comes included in everybody's tuition as a universal fee. So that's definitely something that we push for, that kind of thing. I've also been talking with Mary Lee over in sustainability, and she has some really, really fantastic ideas for really good green initiatives for students, for transportation, getting to and from the school. Another way that we've been kind of introduced this year is we introduced locked biking area, so it's like all fenced and everything, and you just pay like $10 a semester, and you get a key and you can lock your bike securely and safely, while still contributing to the environment and reducing the carbon footprint.
Heather?
Just to echo something that Carly mentioned and touched upon, is the green initiatives around campus. So as she said as well, the parking, we only have so much space, and there's not really too much we can do when it comes to expanding or decreasing the sizes. However, the rapid transit and the proposed LRT is going to be making a huge impact on Fanshawe College, making it more of a transit hub and a transit village. So that's going to be big things that we need to look at and plan for in the future. But also, there's not a lot of permeable surface in our parking, so actually my focus would be more on how can we access GIS, geographical information systems, and statistics about how the parking lot is being used, what classes or when, where do people need the parking lots, at what areas, at what time, and actually just make it more, using it more efficiently than what it's being used right now, because it's kind of a lottery, and that's not working, so.
Great.
All right, so the parking here at Fanshawe is, like you said, it's very hard to get parking, but I take the bus every day, and I think that it's a very good system right now, but it's expanded even more, so it's going to get even better. As I said, there's not much land, and we need to use it better, and it's not only that we have our campuses here, but we also have our campuses downtown. So we have more parking there and more parking available there. And we have on other campuses, if you're coming from out of town, you have higher priority for parking passes. So often those parking passes are given to them. And I just believe that we could all be more sustainable and bike or bus to and from classes.
Okay, so parking obviously is a huge topic around Fanshawe. There is a limited amount of space, and there's only so much we can do with the parking spaces that we do have available. Unfortunately, it's very expensive to make parking garages and multi-tiered parking structures. So those generally don't get looked at very often by Fanshawe or by other organizations. Moving forward, again, expanding our services and expanding our campuses into downtown and other locations, moving some of the classes from main campus to the smaller satellite type campuses and away from the main campus will help to alleviate some of the parking congestion. But in order to really help decrease the parking congestion, we do need to continue to advocate for extended routes, extended services, increased service to campus from London Transit. That's the one major way that we can really help to alleviate parking around campus. There are some different areas that students can park, things like that. But the major way to decrease the parking issue is again by advocating to the LTC and pushing more buses and more services towards Fanshawe.
Okay, thank you. So keeping, there's a couple references to the environment there, so let's keep on that thread. The Environmental Club approaches you about discontinuing the use of paper communications, specifically the interrobang. What do you do? Let's start with Maria.
So I believe that the posters we have right now are basically ineffective because all they are they posted in our little glass cases or on our bulletin boards. We just pass by them and we just don't see them. So I believe we should just use more social media to contact you guys by using such things as Facebook, Snapchat, or even like email to provide your information about our events.
Sure. All right. All the sustainability initiatives, I love it. Actually, a lot of the paper we do use, especially in the FSU, a lot of it is recycled to begin with. So we already have that kind of thing at the back of our mind. So we definitely use a lot of recycled papers, that kind of thing. I definitely agree with using more social media, but I'm kind of old-fashioned. I find the old-fashioned way does work really well. I think it's really eye-catching. And a lot of people do tend to come out to events when they see posters, when they see posters for a certain amount of time. So we can also look into other sustainability initiatives. We look into like not putting up every email in the FSU, that kind of thing. Actually, the FSU does incredible work with sustainability initiatives. And also we can even look into stuff like soy-based eggs, stuff that's really nice and easy on the environment.
I love this question. As a landscape design student, I'm very passionate about the environment, so call me a tree hugger. That's fine, I'm okay with it. And actually, I believe you had said specifically interrobang. So on my Fanshawe page, actually, I talk a lot more about the other different paper products being used, but specifically interrobang is an educational resource. So it's not just something that's getting information out, but it's an opportunity for journalists, students, people who are writing, people who are exploring these venues and using it as part of their education. As long as the world uses newspapers and uses journalism, which I don't think is going anywhere, I think it's important that we keep interrobang and improve upon interrobang because it's something that it's going to be, it crosses over into real life. So interrobang is very important. I don't think that should go anywhere.
Jordan. Okay, so if I was approached by the Environmental Club with a question such as this, I would obviously first recommend that they can access the interrobang online. We do have articles posted back for, I think, 5 years, maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less, but you can go onto the FSU website and access articles that were previously posted and read through the entire newspaper online. And then pushing that forward through their social media, through our social media, if we can get more access to the interrobang through online resources and things of that nature, then that would provide us with the ability to either reduce the number of copies that we produce or possibly look at different ways to publicize the interrobang. Obviously moving forward, maybe with some digital signages, things like that of that nature, would provide us with different opportunities and ways to reduce the amount of paper that we are using on posters and things of that nature. If we could, move towards some, maybe rather than a poster bulletin board, we could have a digital sign where we could post multiple events. And that way too, you could really increase the amount of interactivity within those postings, having different videos, being a possibility that you can play a short video for each event as you promote your events and things of that nature, which would again hopefully drive to reduce the amount of paper that we use.
And
if I was approached by a student asking to stop interrogating services of providing those newspapers, I would tell them that you can talk, maybe discussion with interrobang to maybe possibly see if they can recycle paper, and also notify them about, as Jordan has stated, interrobang is also on the FSU website, and they can access fsu.ca and find some of the documents for the previous years and previous articles that interrobang has provided. I would also try to get students to input their views to interrobang to see what else could be found for maybe a decrease in the amount of production for the paper, and to really just advocate for what the student would ask.
Okay, thank you. So just a reminder, there are 2 microphones at either side of the stage for those who want to ask questions of the candidates. The next question that we do have is, what is the best method to increase student participation or attendance at events and ensure student safety at the same time? Start with Heather.
That is a great one. Safety and attendance, both of those are a huge issue. I couldn't help but notice how many empty chairs we have at this event. I think that comes down to a few things. One being that information isn't necessarily being delivered in an efficient manner. I actually subscribe to the text from FSU, and I was expecting a text today or yesterday saying when the speeches were. I did not receive one. I did receive, someone asked me to put in a question for the presidents, which I didn't do, but it didn't say any information about the speeches. So I think it's all about a more efficient use of how we are getting this message out to students, but also FOL. Not all faculty members are using FOL or using it properly or using it efficiently or on a regular basis. So between social media and FOL, that's something that we need to use. But also security, we have the classes, we have police foundations, we have people in the security office as students, and I think we can actually encourage them to be more involved at these kind of events once we start getting more attendance.
Thank you. Carl?
Absolutely. So event and event planning and then event promotion is, it's always a really interesting topic. I'm a huge fan of meeting people face to face and speaking with them and just kind of spreading the message that way. I also used a lovely, really old school technique, sandwich boards for advertising, and it worked amazingly. I threw an event back in November, and I built the place. It was absolutely incredible. You also have to know your audience. You have to know the students who engage the most with the FSU, with events. You have to know what they want, and you have to have that really good two-way communication also.
All right, so the attendance here, as you can see, Heather was saying that there isn't many people here, but we need to get more people out. So I believe that our communication needs to be built among the students and us. Through like text, even like on our courses that we have, having a barcode to scan onto your phone and link that to your calendar so you know what's happening. And maybe even connect with Fanshawe through FOL and let them know about the events there, or even have an email brought to you about our events. And then safety overall, our security is a great outlet for that. And also at our events that we have right now, we also have security, and they are very good with checking the IDs of people and putting them under 19 with the yellow bracelets, so we all know that not to give drinks and whatnot to them. So I believe that the security is pretty good right now, and increasing that attendance will just increase more security. Thanks.
Jordan.
Okay, so I believe to increase attendance at events, we really need to be presenting events that students want to come to. I think currently we do a lot of things because maybe we've done it in the past, or that's the way it's always been, so we just continue to do it. But it doesn't necessarily have the same draw anymore. So really taking a look at the events that we are producing and making sure that those are events that students really want to see, taking the feedback from students into account when we plan for our events moving forward is definitely a key also. Like I was saying before, increasing the amount of interactivity in the way that we promote our events is also another key to increase attendance. It's great to have posters for all of our events, different things of that nature, things on social media and whatnot, but the more people gravitate towards social media, the more things get ignored. It's just like posters. When posters are up for too long, people just walk right past them and they don't see them anymore. So finding a way to be more interactive with the promotion of our events, having, again, maybe some digital signage boards around that we can play short clips of past performances by whoever's coming in, different things of that nature to really increase the interest in the amount of, in the attendance to events. Also, the scheduling is another key thing too. As Fanshawe grows, scheduling becomes tighter and tighter. Students are in classes earlier, they stay later, and really finding the time where they're available to come to the events and scheduling our events during that time is another key piece of the puzzle that we need to take into account. For security purposes, we need to ensure that we're obviously using licensed security. We have to make sure that we're covering ourselves in terms of liability and ensuring that we do have the correct amount of security for students that are at the event, and just maintaining maintaining the flow that we have with that, and ensuring that all students are safe in dealing with issues as they come up rather than being reactive to them.
Abdi.
I believe that for promoting more events, we can do it more interactive through speech, and students actually, or maybe presenting these events, actually talking to students out in the hallways, also maybe having throughout social media, students contacting through social pages, like Facebook pages, to promote these events. Also, security is an issue, and students, for the amount of students that are invited into these events, if we have a large crowd, it's accommodated for that large crowd. And I believe security, like Maria has stated, is really good at the moment. And if there has been an issue, look at it and